Hello and welcome back to Happy Handicrafts. My name is Joanna and today we are going to be making a crocheted winter hat to match the scarf that we made in a previous video in our crochet series. This is seriously going to be the easiest hat you will ever make. I'm going to show you how to make it any size without a pattern. So grab your hook and yarn and come crochet with me. Now, if you've been following along with us in our crocheted series on Happy Handicrafts, you will already be familiar with the magic circle and the half double crochet. Those are the only two stitches that you're going to use. However, I'm also going to show you a couple more skills, the invisible join and the crochet increase. So the first thing you're going to need to do is select your yarn. I'm going to be using the exact same yarn that I used to crochet the scarf in a previous video. It's thick, soft, and cozy. Its weight is super bulky, and I kind of love using super bulky yarn because it crochets up very quickly. But you're welcome to use any yarn you like. Just be aware if you use a smaller or a lighter weight yarn, you're going to have a little more work ahead of you. Next, choose your hook. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I like to size up one size larger than suggested on the ball band, so I'll be using a 9mm hook. Now before we get to crocheting, I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to be making. If you look at a hat, you may think it's in the shape of a dome or a bell shape. It's actually not. Crocheted hats are made more like flat bottom bowls. You start with the magic circle and you work outwards in a flat circle. You want this circle to be about the size of the crown of the head. So if you're making an infant hat, it's going to be quite small. A teenager is going to be a little larger, and an adult is going to be just a little larger than that. Once you get to the size that you want, you stop increasing and you start working the sides, putting one half double crochet into each stitch and making it as long as you like. Does that all make sense? I hope so. But if you have any further questions, you can always put them below and we'll answer them there. So let's get started with our magic circle. We learned this in a previous video. Once you made the magic circle, you're going to do one crochet stitch to start the next row. Then we're going to put 8 half double crochet stitches into that circle. We'll join the first and last stitch with a slip stitch and pull it tight. If you can visualize it, this is going to be the very top of the hat. Now for the second row, we're going to start a sequence that will result in a flat round circle. I will write out that complete sequence below, and I will also link to our blog, which will always have all this information. You're going to follow this sequence for as long as you need to get the size that you need. Remember, you want this piece to fit the crown of the head. So for our second row, and every row, we start with a chain 1. Then we're going to place 2 half double crochet stitches in each of our 8 half double crochets from the previous row. Just use the same space for both stitches. At the end of the row, count to make sure you did it right. We want 16 stitches at this point. Now, instead of joining the first and last stitch of this row with a slip stitch, I'm going to show you another crochet skill called the invisible join. When crocheting in a circle, you are always going to have to join the last stitch of that row to the first stitch of that row. If you always do it with a slip stitch, you're going to end up with an unsightly line going down your entire piece, showing where you joined. But there's another way of doing this. It's not very difficult and it's going to hide that line. So when you come to the end of your row, you're going to stretch the last loop a little bit. Now we're going to slip our hook into the second stitch from the back. Keep your yarn to the back, turn your work and do a slip stitch from the back, and then turn it around again. Chain 1 to start your new row. Now place your stitch marker so you'll always see exactly where that row starts. For our third row, we're going to follow the sequence I mentioned before. We're going to work 2 half double crochets into every second stitch to give us 24 stitches in our circle. We've already done the chain 1. We'll do 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, and now we're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch. Now 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, and so on until the end of the row. We'll finish the row with the invisible join. With my size of yarn and needle, I ended up doing to row 4 of the sequence, working 2 half double crochets into every third stitch. This gave me 32 stitches and it fit my daughter's head just right. It's about 6 inches in diameter. From now on, I'm not going to add any more stitches. I'm just going to work the ones we have, 32 of them, doing an invisible join at the end of each row. I'm going to start each row with a chain 1, and I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch in each of the half double crochet stitches from the previous row. From now on, make sure you keep your stitch count the same. You're going to crochet as many rows as you like until the hat fits. If you want to be able to fold the bottom edge of the hat up like we did, you just add a few more rows. Keep trying on the hat so you make sure it fits right. Once you're done, you're going to cut your yarn and pull it through the last stitch. Then you're going to weave in both of your ends. We wanted to add a pom-pom, so we sewed one in. And we're done. How did your hat turn out? Now be sure to hit that subscribe button because we have a lot more to come. Our next crochet project is going to make you an expert in single crochet and double crochet. So be sure to check back soon to see what's next. We'll see you there.